Sometimes life weighs me down. I try to press on, but every time I turn around, it seems like I'm up against the wall. My life's upside down. I need to rest away from all life's mess in your secret place. Say there's only you and me. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused, and I need peace. Take me to your secret place. Take me to your secret place. Take me to your secret place.
Hello. Welcome to our Thursday thing. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we want you to tag a friend. We want you to share the live. And I'm so excited. We decided to start a new series, which we're going to spotlight a business owner, a small business owner to be precise, because we all have to stick together as entrepreneurs, especially the small business owners. And so I'm so excited because I have a fantastic guest this evening whom I've known for quite some time. We're gonna figure out the exact time when she comes on, but we're gonna go ahead and bring on my guest this evening, who is none other than one of my girlfriends, and her name is Jessica Marking. She is the CEO and founder of Marking Maps. Please bring Jessica on the screen. Hey! It's been so long. I haven't seen you in forever. How are you?
Good. I love watching you and your thing. This is your element. I love it.
It is. It really is. Like, I didn't even know it. You'd be surprised, because I told people, like, I had been shy to go live publicly like we've been doing. And I just did it for the first time in May. And I've been going ever since. We've been going every Thursday since.
Oh my gosh.
It's great. So Jessica, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I live now in Madison, but like you said, and now I'm like racking my brain to see like when I met you, Inez. But used to live in Chicago for 6 years, have been back home in Madison, Wisconsin for probably about 5 years, but kind of a serial entrepreneur. Was a director with Mary Kay. That is how Inez and I met. Earned a car, did very well.
Yes,
we became directors. We went to Texas together. We
so
came up the road. Yeah.
I love it. And I also love, and I tell people, like, even with the business, you never know kind of what it's meant to do for you. Sometimes it helps you learn how to be an entrepreneur. Sometimes it helps to catapult you to another business or start, because I use my profits to start my other business, which is my consulting company, where I help students get scholarship money for college. Inez Jones Consultant. And so I love it. And so we want you to share and talk about your business. And for all of my viewers watching, y'all know I love the comments. Okay. So y'all need to comment, ask questions. You got entrepreneurs here. We're ready to pour into you all, give some insight, answer questions. I'm going to have Jess share about her business. She just told us a little bit about herself. And so now I want to ask you kind of, how did you come up with your business idea, and explain it to everyone?
All right. So, well, like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I always have like tons of irons. What is it? Tons of rods in the fire. I'm going to get that expression wrong. But this was actually a gift. So I called my sister. It was my dad's 60th birthday. And I was like, I really want to make this travel map. He's been to almost all 50 states. And so I X-Acto knifed out a foam core. I traced and like with a razor blade cut all 50 states out. And then we glued the pictures of where he had been and we gave it to him as a gift. Well, I had a friend that was like, don't they have a puzzle? Don't you wish there was some company that could laser cut this for you? And it was already too late for the actual gift that I gave my father. So the original gift is done out of foam core. But then I researched, I was like, okay, what's a laser company near me? And took them my idea and they laser cut out the United States for me. And they're just wooden pieces. I know Inez is going to show you guys some photos, but they're like, this is Michigan. I did grab some. But they're like laser cut pieces that individually fit together. And then people can put their travel photos on there. So that is the concept. And that's how we came up with it. It wasn't really meant to be a business. It wasn't the one that I pooled all my effort into. I've definitely put more effort into other ideas.
I think those are the best ones, the ones that kind of happen on accident.
Oh.
And so I love it. I love that that was a gift idea. And I didn't know that's how it started. It was a gift idea for your dad. And now it is your full-blown business. And so we do have a few pictures. So let's show everyone. And her business is marking maps for those of you who are watching. And I love it because y'all know I love to travel. And as soon as they let us free, I'm going to be gone somewhere. And so we're going to scroll through. There's a lot of different pictures because people customize it. They're very customizable where you can put them up. You can put your own family's pictures on it. And I love, love, love that because that's like the memory from the place and you can cut out pieces of it. And there are so many different kinds. Can you talk about that a little bit, Jessica? I know you said you started with the foam and now what kind are there maps are there now?
Yeah, so we have had to evolve. So when this first blew up, and I'll have to tell you guys the story. Tell me, Inez, if you want me to share how it kind of went. It ended up going viral. But when it went viral, I had one version of this map. I had kind of like a really kind of shoddy photo of it up on, and it just lived on Etsy. It was one of those ideas where I was like, well, I was looking for this, couldn't find it. Maybe I'll put it on Etsy. And for 3 years, I only sold 5 a year. So I had sold 15 total.
Wow.
And then one day, so people, it's a DIY kit. So people are going to do whatever they envision. I just sell the map pieces and then the backing and the photos, that's all up to everybody. Well, I had come home and we were celebrating my sister's wedding anniversary and she handed me the phone and she goes, this came up on my Facebook. It looks like your map. And it ended up being, and I was like, yeah, like that looks like it. But I'd only sold it to 15 people. So I cross-referenced my 15 customers from Etsy. And sure enough, it was one of them. But by the time we saw the post, it had been seen over 50,000 or shared over 50,000 times.
Wow.
And it had over 30,000 comments that were like, how do I get this? So my sister is like, you got to start posting like your link. And I was like, well, that seems like a little like buy my map. And so she's like, I'm like, can you do it? So she said like, this is my sister's map. And by the end of the week, we had sold 600 maps.
Oh my gosh. You went from 15 in 3 years to 600 in a matter of a day. It sounds like.
And then by the end of 2 weeks, we hit 1,600.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. 1,600, and you had only done 15 previously in 3 years. And see, that's why I think people need to be patient because you never know when, that moment is going to hit and your business will just take off. So something that started as a gift for your father and then a craft now became a full-blown business because one of those 15 people that first purchased from you posted it and the post went viral. And so that actually kind of leads into another question. So like, how did you fill all those orders?
That was what was wild. So, okay, they're coming in, and I had 4 in stock. And I used to handwrite on the back of each state. Oh, as I drop one, I used to handwrite like MI, like every initial on all 50 states. I'd put on a movie because when you're only selling one every other month, you have time to do that. So I ran to the company that laser cuts these for me. And I was like, I think this is going viral. I think I think we need to get 50 going. This was like that very first day. And you're like, okay, like, oh, well, maybe 100, but I don't really want it to be stuck with inventory. So, but we had no idea. But some of the things we had to learn, the wood, like our lumber was not great. And so we were having, like, my dad would go to all the different Menards or different lumber yards. Thankfully, I had a retired father because I kept working a full-time job through all of this, and I still do. But the wood, so that was a big thing we had to tackle. We had to simplify. So I used to laser in the state names on the back. We didn't have time for that. And then it would leave these flash marks. And so we cut that, and it cut our time in half. I had to find a second manufacturer in Milwaukee to cut in laser. Wow. But then we were picking up bags of 50 pieces, and we had to box them. And Etsy customers, I love you, Etsy customers. I love being an Etsy customer because they respect, like, the artist, and they love presentation, and they love craftsmanship. So I remember being like, we got to really think thoughtfully of how we package these. You know, we can't just, my aunt's like, can't we just throw them in a bag? You know, like, there's so many. And I was like, we can't do that. Not with this customer base. Like, so, you know, we had to bubble wrap to make sure things weren't breaking. We had to make sure we had to create a pattern so we weren't losing our pieces. The tissue paper, you know, the cards and the stickers and everything that goes with it all played into it. Wow. So, but it was all my neighbors, all my aunts and uncles.
A family affair.
It was a family affair. We watched
most businesses are when they start out.
It was wild. Even we had to order the supplies. So we used Uline and then we had to get them shipped out. So I became like best friends with USPS. They came every day, and we'd load 50 boxes in and we would just text them like, we have 50 orders for you today, and they were coming to the house.
Wow. That's amazing. And that was probably like pre-pirate ship. I don't know how long they've been in business, but I know we all have had our share with the post office during this time. And so what's the most orders that you've had to fill? Was that the most, the 1,600 in that short time span? Yeah, so it's been about a year and a half, and we're about at 6,500. But just as we found systems, so then the Milwaukee facility started to be able to package them, but they wouldn't ship them. So then my dad and I would have to drive up to Milwaukee, which I'm in Madison, for anyone out of state, or it's about an hour and a half drive. So we'd have to pick them up, drive them the block to the post office in Milwaukee because and then drive back. So we were doing that about once a week too. So every layer has kind of simplified it. Now I can download my labels. I email them to them, and they drop ship them for me. Woo! All right. So, listen, I'm all for a system. You know me. I know. I'm the system queen. And so that is amazing that you had it all from social media. So like, if you're watching and you have a business, make sure that you have your clients share their experience and post a picture with the product that you sell on their social media, because you never know who's going to watch. You never know when something's going to go viral. And so you chose Etsy over Amazon. Why? Yes. So, one, when I was originally doing it on Etsy, I'm a big fan of Etsy. You're going to be like, does she work for Etsy? I don't. Just through my experience, you can post something, a listing, so something that you made for 20 cents per listing per month. So I had one map. It cost me 20 cents a month for it to live. So for I can't do math, but like $2 to $3 a year, my map could live there. And that's why
it wasn't, I was working on other business plans when this took off. But they take care of, I mean, it's, if you want to talk about systems, like I can handle custom orders, I can handle my messages, but they also, like from a financial standpoint, they take the money after you make the sale. So there are fees, but they handle all my state taxes. So I don't have to worry about if I sell too much in Colorado or if I sell too much in California that I have to be reporting those taxes. They're going to handle all of that. Amazon, I haven't had great luck. And I was telling you, Inez, actually, so when you post something that you've made, there is intellectual property there. You're an artist, you're a craftsman. That's your art. And so you want to put it on a platform that it's going to be respected. And I had that photo that went viral. I had a shop on Etsy steal it and use it as their own. And they were making wooden maps, but they also like take a picture of your own, like it's a homemade thing. So you need to be representing what you made and not taking that from somebody who made theirs.
Absolutely. And that was actually going to be one of my other questions was how do you handle your copyright? So perfect lead in.
Yeah. So the Amazon, the same thing happened. So you have exact same situations where the photos being used, they didn't make the product that they're representing with that photo. So a couple things had to happen. Etsy, I sent a message to their intellectual infringement claim, and you can kind of prove like, hey, this is mine. Here's my website. Here's the things. And they handled it in 48 hours. I had an apology from the shop. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was down. Same Pinterest. Actually, I get most of my sales funneled through Pinterest. So people click. So every time somebody posts a review, it goes on to Pinterest. And through that is probably what is most of my sales now.
Wow. Wait a minute. So let me make sure I understand this correctly. And I'm going to put me back on the screen here now. And so you're saying that when they give you a review, the review automatically goes to Pinterest from your Etsy page?
No. Okay. So when they post a review, a lot of those maps that you were showing, that's all like their projects. And so I usually reach out and say, hey, do you mind if I use it? And they're always like, yeah. Or if they're posting the review, they want you to see it. So then you go to Pinterest, you can share. Oh, I put you down. It got caught on my headphones. You can share their photo. Well, I'm a Pinterest, like that's what I do at 2 a.m. You're like, I'm going to put that in my garden. So you see these crafts or like, I want to make that. And you click on it and then it goes to my Etsy page. So it does take a little work on my part to put it on there, but it's so simple. And I think people don't realize Pinterest and Etsy people are very similar people.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because, they like different things. They have little knickknacks, stuff that they follow. And so how did you handle the copyright issue?
Well, so the photo itself was taken by my customer. So I didn't own it. You can't copyright something you don't own. And she was actually a romance novelist from Texas. And she and I have kind of become pen pals. We kind of keep each other in the loop of what's going on. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I need to copyright this because I couldn't get it off of Amazon. Pinterest. So that was Pinterest took it down right away because it was floating around there and linking to people's shops. Etsy took it down, but Amazon I couldn't get off. It's still up there actually. If you Google, I don't know the shop name, but if you look, it's not me. So I had to get a lawyer to get a contract to buy my photo, and she was so fair. I mean, it was a nice, like generous. Here you go. And so she can only post that photo now if she tags my shop. But then after I had the right of the photo that she signed over to me, then I could file a copyright. And that is pending right now. So I'm still waiting to get the approval from the copyright. And then I will be able to go and kind of after that shop that isn't complying. So.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that. And I saw we had a couple of comments from our guests. And so we're going to go ahead and scroll those across the screen now as well. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for viewing. And Alicia says, is starting an Etsy store hard? That's a great question.
It is. No, it's so, I like tell everybody, it's super, very user-friendly, very, very easy and inexpensive because they're not really going to charge you much until you make a sale, which really, I think, again, from an artist perspective, somebody wanting to put themselves out there, you know, like a membership of $40 a month is kind of like hard to swallow. So,
yeah. And so what percentage do they take?
That's a good question. And you'll learn real quick, I'm not a details person. I do have to.
Hey, we delegate the things we don't do the best at.
Yeah, so my accountant could tell you that. It's on there. It breaks it down. They do take fees.
Okay.
But I don't know off the top of my head.
It seems like it's minimal and it's worth it.
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
Good. She says, thanks for sharing the tax information. That was great. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I'm all about any tax write-offs that we can get as well. And so how is your business registered? Like, how did you come up with how you register it? Like, why did you do, I don't know if you did an LLC or Inc. or S Corp, like, what did you do?
I did a LLC. I kind of forgot I had to do, that was like in the initial, like, realm of what am I going to do, because there was a couple things. Yeah, so I filed as a LLC. I also, because I'm not going to explain this well. You could tell I'm not great at this. But I had to get a wholesale. What am I thinking? Because
like a license, like a license.
Yeah, like a retail license. So like I'm tax exempt. When I buy the maps from my laser company, I am not taxed. They don't have to tax me because I'm not the end user. So that tax then goes, I'm like, again, kind of this middle person that is going to be passed off on the consumer. So I'm blanking on the name. You're going to be like, oh.
It's okay. Don't worry. But you did an LLC though, right?
That's what you did. LLC. Okay. And I needed that license. You too can run your own business.
Yes, listen. Yes, you can. And Jess, you might want to put your camera up a little bit. We'll make sure we don't cut you off. I know you had dropped the phone earlier. And so that way we got it. And so no, it's totally fine. I'm just so glad you were able to pop on here. And we get a few people watching on live, but then a bunch of people watch the replay later because we're streaming on YouTube. As you saw, Alicia was commenting from YouTube and Facebook platforms. And I didn't tell you to share it on your page, but make sure to share it on your page too. We should probably do that. I'll do that while you're answering this next question. I'll put it over to yours so your team can see as well, but they can always watch the replay. And if you do watch the replay, we want you to put #replay on the replay. And so what would be the biggest obstacle? I don't think I asked you this one yet. What would be the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome in this business realm? Yeah,
that's a good question. I think that initial, like, how are we going to do this? That was probably the biggest obstacle. And yeah, I think page, but make sure. Oh, did I get some feedback there? Sorry. Yeah, I think that's it. I would say, like, people have asked me, are you going to make it bigger? Are you going to scale it? What would you do if somebody like invested in it? And I think right now for me, I have it so systematic. I'm a one-woman shop. That scaling, I don't know if it would be worth it. So that's something I'm kind of up against right now. But yeah, those initial, like, how am I going to mail Alaska so it doesn't break? Those were the hardest to overcome.
Thank you. And then the next question that I have for you is, like, what advice would you give to an aspiring business owner or entrepreneur or someone who just has a craft? Like, I mean, really, it sounds like, you came up with an idea, you were pretty good at crafting things, and you made a business of it, right? And so what advice would you give to those people?
So I think a couple things. One, you never know what's going to take off. So try a lot of different things. And I have most certainly had things fail. Um, and so, and I never expected this to take off. So try a lot of different things. Have fun with it. The one thing I'll say, very practical about both maybe Amazon or Etsy selling is not to undercut yourself financially. So it was interesting when my maps first started, I used to sell them for $50. And right away, my cousin's like, you got to up that. And I actually needed to up it because now all of a sudden I actually had those supplies and needing to have it be more expensive. But at the same time, there were people on Etsy that started selling the exact same things for less money. And what I did is I actually increased my prices more. And I had someone reach out to me and was like, I don't understand. I just keep seeing like your needle going up. Meanwhile, I'm kind of selling the similar thing and mine's cheaper. Well, if I would have like kind of gone to the temptation, like, oh, well, I see he's selling his for $60. I'm going to sell mine for $59.50. And then he's like, oh, she's selling it for that, so I'm going to sell it for $55. All you end up doing is undercutting your entire everybody in the process. So I think know your value, know what your product is worth. And I've also been told on the flip side, like, oh, you could charge way more for that. And for me, I want people to have it. Like, I want you to be somebody who's like, I want to buy that for someone's wedding because they love to travel. So I want the accessibility of it. So those are kind of two ends of the spectrum of not kind of letting it be for the every person, but also not like stooping to what the lowest denominator on, say, Etsy is.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think that is probably one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is undervaluing their product or their worth, whether their product is, something tangible or their product is their coaching. I had the same thing happen with my business. Like I had a couple of people actually, a coach and then a branding specialist tell me you are way undervaluing what you do. You need to charge more. I was like, yeah, I want it to be affordable. And I really just do it because I love it. I love to help kids get scholarship money for college, so it's like when you love what you do, it's kind of hard to put a price point on it. And so I think that's why it helps to have somebody else in your ear. Like your sister was like, girl, put your website on here. You want to get these sales? Come on, shout out to your sister, okay? And, having someone to tell you or just to help you kind of, bounce ideas off of. And as you see, it's worth it, right? Because people have purchased in the thousands from you. And so that is fantastic. And I'm sure there's people watching that want to. And I know we're going to show some more pictures here in a second because you had so many good pictures. I was like, oh, we got to put them all on if we can.
I know, people are so creative.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And so my next question for you would be how have you had to evolve over time? And you can answer that if you want while we're going through, or you could talk us through some of these pictures if you want. And so each way. And I love this one. I was like, oh, we got to show it with you. So tell us a little bit about this picture.
Yeah. So that was an article that was actually from a magazine that they ran in Business Madison, which is a local magazine that talks about entrepreneurship. And the spin on that was what do you do when something goes viral, was really the take on that. So they came and this behind it is what we cut the maps on. Okay. So it's laser cut out of that wood. And I'm just holding Wisconsin. Yeah. where I live. So
yes, yeah. You left us. I miss you being in Chicago.
I know.
Oh, sounds like I'm gonna have to come visit when this pandemic is over.
I still get my hair cut in Chicago.
Okay, well, tell me next time you're here, girl. We gotta
I drive down just for that. Oh, yeah, these are just customers, and I love, and I feel like sometimes I start to get to know. I've had some. So you talked about evolution. So we started just with like the one map, and then people were like, well, can you make it bigger? Can you make it bigger? So we created 3 sizes. They get like huge, like here's, oh, now I'm dropping stuff, but you can kind of see this is, I don't know where to be at it, but so different sizes. And then we started going with Europe was a big request, and all the different countries. So we have almost all of them on there. I have done a world, but I'm still working on it.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is like, have you done a world? I think I asked you that. I was like, Jess, I want a world one, okay? Because
Yes,
I'm gonna have to
you
check
did. And
like,
what's
let
bad
me be
is
one of the first.
it's hard because
The world's so big, I know.
It is, but then like people travel to oh my God, that's the Airstream I just got to renovate. That's
what that one is?
so that's my next evolution. So we have Cork. Oh, I do want to talk about but anyway, so I bought an Airstream to renovate, and I think it's going to be a marking map rental.
Oh, nice.
So you could come and stay in it, and then who knows? I don't know where that's all going to go. But that one's percolating. That's
I see. It looks different. So you were saying there's different materials. So you started off with one kind of wood and then you switched to a different kind?
Well, yeah, we just had to find and now I've kind of come, like you can see you don't really get to, they're all really different based on the lumberyard. But then we did add cork to the mix so you could get a cork map. And then the third way we evolved, well, actually that would be the fourth. So we changed some materials. We added the countries, we changed the sizes. And then the fourth is we actually created Cricut files so that if you own a Cricut, you can put your photo and it's the exact shape and size of the 3 USA
so it prints
maps.
out perfectly.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I know there are crafters that love that. I know a lot of people have Cricut. I didn't know what a Cricut was until a little bit ago, but I have some crafty friends.
Yes. And what's great about that is, so I have again, I'm clearly not computer oriented or can do anything like that. So I hired a friend to design the file for me. And I paid her for it. And I worked out, okay, like I'm going to sell them for $10 a piece. How many do I have to sell to break even? But with files, say on Etsy, there's no inventory. They just download the file and you get paid.
Oh, nice. So
it's not a huge profit maker, but it's something that I don't even touch and it happens. So that's a cork one.
Okay. And so the cork one, people can use like a, what do you call it? The little pins that go, the push pins, right? And then they could just push pin a picture on it instead of printing it on it. Is that the difference?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I love it. I love it because I mean, who doesn't want to mark off everywhere they've been in the US and outside, like you said, Europe and things. And we've been scrolling through some of the pictures as you're talking because you had so many, and I love it. And so it's, it's so customizable, and they can put as many pictures as they want, right? They can do a bunch of little ones like this one, or they can do one big one. And then this is one of my favorite pictures right here. Life is a Journey, Best Traveled Together. It looks like this is like a wedding announcement or something.
Well, we made that one for my boss. So that was her wedding shower that we threw for her. So when you came in, and it was at work, but that was the centerpiece kind of decor. My friend, my coworker cricketed the Life is a Journey, Best Traveled. So that is just adhesive vinyl. And then we got the chalkboard on clearance from, I think, Hobby Lobby. And then I love
Hobby Lobby. Shout out to Hobby Lobby, okay? And I did not know anything about Hobby Lobby until I moved to the burbs, but oh my goodness, they have gotten a good penny out of me.
So yeah, that was, it makes great what I've given it put together like that. And then I've also just gave it, if I know this particular boss is not the most crafty, so I kind of knew I had to put it together for her if she was ever going to put it together.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I'm probably the same way. You probably have to put it together for me. We'll meet and I'll pick it up from you.
Yeah. That's something I had to decide though, too, is people are like, do you do that? And I just don't have the time to be able to do the framing. And so that's something I just always say no. So it's
Yeah.
okay to say
Or
no.
maybe that's an opportunity for growth and you can outsource and hire somebody whose their only job is to do that.
Yes, but then so now I'm like, how much is shipping? You know, now you got a big thing.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
that is
always
huge
thinking about
ship.
shipping.
I love this one too. And this is in a
Mhm.
hall. It's like huge. So is this like the bigger size you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the large, which
Okay.
people
So it's like
always,
small, medium, large, right?
yeah, and that's so 4 feet by 5 feet for the mainland.
Okay.
So people underestimate the size. They're like, can you do bigger? And I was like, I don't think, I mean, Texas on that one is 16 by 16.
Oh, this one I love too.
Yes, this one's probably
Ah.
like my favorite.
Wow. And so they just have pictures. So they did little pieces of pictures and then they put actual pictures. And so people just make this like a wall in their house, a little decor, right? And then it's like customization as well. And so I do enjoy it. And then it shows because it's funny. I think at some point everybody wants to kind of travel all the states, right? It ends up being on your bucket list at some point in time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I've been to all 50. I think I've almost been to all 50. I have to look at it. And I'm sure you know these states in and out, right? That history that's came in handy from grammar school.
It's funny. I know shapes so well now. I can look and be like, oh, that's
Yeah. I'm like, which one is it? Which one is it? And I like this one. Now, this right here, is this the lighting that has it like that?
Yeah.
Or were they actually black?
This, no. So the lighting has it like that. It's actually a
Okay.
pretty light map.
Okay.
The place that I used to laser cut the pieces made that. So that actually had like a remote. It lights up all sorts of different colors.
Nice.
So that hangs
It
in their
looks so
shop now.
Beautiful. I'm sure they love you. Look, you giving them business. Look. Now, have you had to change since the pandemic? It seems like you kind of weren't, and we can keep scrolling through the pictures tech team, but have you like had to change how you work during the pandemic, or was it pretty much business as usual?
I got really lucky. It was pretty business as usual. Again, the company that I use that laser cuts them, they do all the sneeze guards. They do medical shields. They're cutting like all the, so they were deemed essential when kind of everything shut down. They were up and running. They were having to make all the acrylic pieces for all the businesses. So my maps could continue to function. I had one sort of like, hey, we both got laid off or furloughed. But so they wanted to return it and I just refunded them and I sent it anyway.
Okay.
But and she's like, no, you don't have to send it. But you're like, what do you do in that time? It's like, that's like one of the only things I can do is provide. So I sent that. And that was a part of, that was just me not as a human, not knowing what to do in that moment. But we do have, I should have showed you this. And I don't think I did, but dogs love these pieces.
Oh, I think I did see it on your page. Like they just love to chew them up.
They love to chew them up. And that's not great, but so I can't, it's become a thing. Like
you have to replace pieces.
I have to replace the pieces. And I'm like if something's wrong with your map, I'm the one that breaks things. I spill things on, I'm going to replace it at no cost to you because life is hard. So if your dog eats your piece, I'll replace it. But it's kind of become a marketing, customer service. I always ask them to send a picture of the culprit. So so
you post a picture of the guilty dog?
And then it's like, if Oliver chewed your Michigan, we got your back. So it's kind of become our customer service.
I love it. Can I just say, I'm so proud of you, Jess. I'm so proud of you. You are just amazing. And I love that, you didn't let anything stop you, right? And you kept doing it even when it was only a few customers, like you said, once every other month. You kept going. And I think that's the biggest tip for anyone thinking about starting a business is that you have got to have grit. You have got to know there's going to be some good days. There's going to be some bad days. There's going to be some, we need a prayer and a miracle to happen days. But just to keep going and to be steadfast and be confident in, what was put in your heart to share and show and with the world, really, because that's what it is. And, lo and behold, like you said, you just had a few people here and there. And so it probably wasn't much of a big deal, right? To fill those few orders, and then all of a sudden, boom, you skyrocketed. And so I love it. And not only did you skyrocket, but you kept up with it. Because some people skyrocket and then can't fill the orders, and then you see them on all over the social media being bashed. But you kept up with it. So like, I am just so proud. I'm gonna clap it up for you. I'm gonna say congratulations. And for those of you just tuning in, Jessica's business is Marking Maps, and we'll scroll across how you can follow her, because I know we had some people that pop on, pop off. You never know with the lives. And then you can follow her on Instagram at Marking Life, and also on Facebook as well. They have at Marking LLC, her Facebook page, which is what I follow and like. And so I was like, I gotta have you on, because I just think it's so unique. And I love not only supporting small business owners, but I also love unique ideas, because I think it makes a difference for the contribution it makes to the world, really, because that's something that the family can not only keep forever, right? It can be passed down, right? They can get a new one, or it could be a gift given for the next generation to fulfill their map of traveling all over. And sometimes it's a lot easier to travel state to state than it is around the world. But you know me, I'm like, listen, I'm like, I need the world, Jess. You're like, well.
Well, it's hard. I do look out, and there are people who doing, like, on Etsy, they have great world maps, and I just like can't quite figure mine out. And so I'll get there. I'll get there for you, Inez.
Listen, I'm ready and waiting. I'm like, I can be the guinea pig. I'm totally fine with that. We can do like piecemeal it. I got plenty of space in my house. We can figure out where to put it.
It is hard too, because Canada, like, you kind of learn the proportions of the world, we love Europe, and then the pieces are so small if you have a proportional Russia, or Asia.
Or maybe instead of doing all the little countries inside of it, maybe you just do like the continents or something. Right?
Yeah,
that might be a thing, because I could put and you could just etch it on for like, because I never put Bali on there. Everybody knows that's my favorite place to travel is Bali, Indonesia. I got to go back. I was one of my favorite places that I never even had on my bucket list before, but I got the opportunity to go and jumped on it. Because when you asked me, we were having a conversation when I asked her about the world map, and she's like, well, is it like one area? Where have you been? I'm like, well, Europe, Indonesia, the States.
The one thing I'll say is I can do, like, if you just wanted Indonesia, I can just do that piece. So I have had people, I'm trying to think they were all going to, where were they going? Like Turks and Caicos, and he was giving it as a Christmas gift, and he wanted to surprise his family. So I made 10 Turks and Caicos that were like big that he could wrap. And so it was just a wooden Turks and Caicos piece.
Oh, how
nice. So, and when my boss, who we made that, her honeymoon was in Jamaica. So the follow-up gift was Jamaica. We took a picture off Facebook. We made it for her, and we framed Jamaica. So she's got her USA map, and then she's got her Jamaica piece.
Well, that might work. You can do the USA, and then you can do the pieces of all the continents and places I've been.
That
I'm trying to think of where I've gone. I've done France and Spain. I mean, that's all Europe still, and then although there's different parts right within there. So we're gonna see. We're gonna think about this. You got my wheels turning now, Jess. All right, I got a couple more questions for you since we got a little time left here. And so I would love to know from you is like, how do you stay motivated as an entrepreneur? And then also you work full time and are, do you have a family, or tell everybody else? I know, right? But tell everybody your family makeup. And so like, how do you, Ella, Switzerland. Yes, I have gone there too. Switzerland. I'm trying to think of everywhere I've traveled. I'm gonna have to think about that or look at my resume or something. It's like, it gets all as a blur, but go ahead. So how do you stay motivated?
I think I'm one of those people. I just daydream nonstop. So I think that I just always want to create. I will say I have a hard time staying motivated on the same task. Like maps to me right now, I'm like, okay, like how can I jazz this up? Because I'm ready for the next thing. I'm kind of like a chronic starter. I do see things through, but I find so much joy in the creating of it that once it's up and running, I'm a little bit, that's a little more challenging. So really then the motivation is just like knowing is the customers' feedback. It's finding the fun sort of like, okay, let's feature the dogs. It's finding the new in what I'm already doing. When that really is what drives me is that creation. But yeah, you asked about family there. My parents are 6 minutes that way, and my sister's family is 6 minutes on the other side of them. I'm single and all alone in COVID. And I work full time. I'm a writer for an insurance company here. And so that's kind of, I do that. I do my maps, hang out with my family. I have a niece and nephew.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Listen, not single for long, okay? Because you and I both, we coming out the singles club, okay? Listen, it's time, all right? So, shoot your shot in Messenger.
Uh-huh.
Oh, listen, and I'm going to talk about it later, but we have our upcoming events. And another question I have for you is, like, where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
I don't know.
Okay.
I should know. That's probably bad. No, it comes up against that. Like when people ask, like, are you scaling it? Like, do you want it? And like right now, it is that extra income I need to be able to afford my home. I can manage it while working a job that I also love right now.
Yes. Multiple streams of income. I tell everybody.
It is. And then, well, it's true. I am working on another business plan or two. It's so right now, if it was exactly what it is in 5 years, I would be so content with that. I kind of keep waiting for it to stop. Like, when are people going to stop buying?
No, we want to keep going. Listen,
we do. But I'm like, wow.
It's probably surreal. I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if it's exactly this in 5 years, I will be thrilled.
Okay. Well, that's good. Listen, steady income is good. All income, that can make it. And would you ever think of opening a brick and mortar store, or do you think it's just gonna be how you have it now? Like, it just seems like it's kind of, a virtual thing.
Yeah,
so
and I've had
business, right? Would be the better term.
I don't think I would ever do a brick and mortar, but I have had retail places reach out to me.
Ooh.
And I've thankfully had my cousins counseled to be like, this is how you operate for a wholesale. Like, this is how you break it down. So you're making money through that. I've never actually gone through with it. So I've talked to a few places and it's just like not been worth it at this time. I could see that being maybe the next step is like if there was, if somebody wanted to carry, like if there was, a store that
own brick and mortar store, like if Target wants to put it in their store, or Walmart, or like one of those.
Well, if
Hobby Lobby. This would be perfect for Hobby Lobby. Like, now you should totally make a deal with Hobby Lobby.
They probably have to sell it too cheap. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
but
no, everything's not that cheap in Hobby Lobby though. I spend a good fortune in Hobby Lobby, so I think you can price it where you need to price it, so you make money. They can price it, they make money, and because or Michael's, just crafting places where people already go. Sometimes those bigger deals could be great. And so, oh my gosh, I'm going to share about some upcoming events we have. And then I'm going to ask you to give some of your final remarks, like whatever you want to share or whatever you want to impart knowledge onto others who might be thinking about starting their own business. Like, what are some, first step type of things? And then also, encouragement, because I feel like, we all have a gift, and part of our journey in life is figuring out what that gift is and how can we turn that gift into a source of income so that it can not only benefit other people, but it can help to, to bless your household, right, and your finances simultaneously. And so that's the event that I have coming up on Saturday with some of my sister sales directors. So it's going to be amazing. And you can message me if you're in the Mary Kay Road about that one, but we can go to the next slide. I know we got a few things. And we want y'all to tune in on Mondays. And so this Monday, I'm actually super excited because I have a makeup artist who's also a Mary Kay consultant, and she's going to do editorial looks. And she actually does the looks for real magazines, like on the front cover, in them. And I think she's been in over 25 publications or something crazy like that. And so she's going to show us how to do an avant-garde editorial look. And so I can't wait. Like, you know, I'm always learning. And so tune in, because every Monday I go live on my Makeup Mondays. And my channels are scrolling across the bottom. And then every Thursday I go live as well. And we have different topics. We can go to the next slide. And so, there's our list for Mondays. And so we got holiday looks, of course, editorial looks, glam looks, date night looks, because we got to get ready. And so the holidays are soon approaching, right? And so I love a good makeup class. And each week I feature a different makeup artist. Every fourth Thursday I sing. And so this is actually on Thanksgiving. So I've been publishing it early, and listen, they just put Chicago back on lockdown. They said, come Monday. So, y'all be home anyway. So you might as well tune in at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time and let me serenade you on Thursday for our Thursday thing. And, if I can get a guest, I'll get somebody on, but it is Thanksgiving. But you can put it on your screen with your smart TV. Just go to the YouTube channel. And then we have a beautiful business. Save the date, December 5th, for information about the business opportunity. And my sister sales directors are going to be on. We're going to get to hear their stories. I think everyone's stories are powerful. And so hearing different people's stories is always a great thing. And I think we might have another flyer or two here. And so, yes, I have started if you want to be a sponsor. So just if you want to sponsor in the future, or other business owners watching, you have sponsorship options where I can feature your product on the screen, or we can scroll it across the bottom so that you can tap into and expand your network. And so I made it super affordable for you to have different packages. So message me if you have any more questions about that. And we can go to the next slide. And we're doing this Spotlight a Small Business. We're going to do it once a month. And so Jessica was our first with our marketing guys. And so I'm so excited. I'm so grateful and thankful she was able to hop on here with us. And so if you have a business that you would like to be featured, go ahead and message me. And so we can get you on our list and plan it out, because I do plan in advance for my lives. And so that's good. And I think we might have a couple more tech team. I can't recall. If you are not following my Breaking Belief Barriers group, I want you to follow that and join it. Some of you might be watching right now from the group. It's on Facebook, and I share different tips throughout the week, and I go live in there, answer questions. And so we want you to become a part of our tribe, and it's our believers tribe as well. And so, and then every Thursday, I go live with my Thursday thing, and at 8 p.m. Central Time. And next week, we actually are going to have dating and courting from a married couple's perspective. So, Jess, I've been doing this series all about the birds, because I started out with lessons from the birds, and then it ended up to, finding a mate for your nest. And so every Thursday we have a different topic. And so next week we're going to be doing dating and courting from a married couple's perspective, because we did the men, we did the women, we did the men and the women, we did the energy, and now we're doing the married couples. Let's hear from the people who have had success on what their take is and how it works. And so I have a few couples coming on. So it's going to be phenomenal at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday for our Thursday thing. So we want you to be sure to tune in for that as well. And the time just flies by. I mean, I told you, it's like, feels like we just catching up, good old friends catching up. And so I would love to have you just share any last thoughts that you have, any last advice for anyone who's watching and might be kind of at that teeter-totter point or of their business. Like, what advice would you give to them?
Oh gosh, you're so well. I just love listening to your energy, and I think you embody the advice I would have. I think both you and I are women of faith, and for me, like, that's you got to follow your heart. You got to follow what you listen to, take time and really think about your own gifts and what you can provide the world with your own creativity. And just have fun in the process, and you're going to fail, and you're going to I don't know, I've invested in things that have never worked out, but I am a constant believer that we just keep putting forward that effort, and we're going to bless people's lives. We're going to bless our own lives through the process. And I guess I'm not the most poetic.
No, it's perfect.
You're so good, Inez.
Oh,
But
thank
I
you,
think
Jess.
that's, we connect on a faith level, and that
Yeah.
has to be like at the center, whatever it is for anybody, or if it's the love of your family and why, why are you doing it? Why do you have to create something? And when we get, and then also like rejection is God's protection and redirection. So if it's not right and you get like, I was heading this way and now I'm going this way. And so I just buckle up. It's a crazy ride.
Now, ain't that the truth? Buckle up. It's a crazy ride. I'll tell you, I when I think about my life and some of the things that have happened, and I am definitely in the process of writing a few books, I'm just like, this feels like a movie. Like, I don't think people even think that I'm being honest, but it's just like legit happening in my life. And so you have to be ready, like you said, that roller coaster, the ups and downs. And if they want to purchase your marking maps, how do they do that? I want to make sure we do that or share that information with everyone before we get out of here this evening.
Yep, you can go to Etsy, you can Google marking maps, you can find it that way. I don't know if you're going to post the link at all. I think it's Etsy/shop/marking maps.
Yes, we will get it.
Yeah, the links on Instagram and Facebook too. So,
okay, yeah, I think, I sent it as well, so we will get that up and we'll post it in the what's that called? In the comments. We'll post it in the comment section for everyone to be able to see also. And I'm sure my tech team is grabbing it from our messages as well to put it across, because we want them to know how to purchase, right? That's part of the point of Spotlight the Small Business. How can people get their own marking maps and mark their destinations and their hopeful destinations? Now, is there any place left that you want to travel to?
Oh, I want to travel anywhere right now. What's really on my, I have never really been, where am I like dying to go? Anywhere warm right now. Honestly, just anywhere warm.
Man, baby, I feel you on that one. Anywhere warm.
It's not even been cold that long, but I'm already like, take me somewhere warm.
Yes. And so I want to make sure we get this, your website up here too. So I got etsy.com/shop/marking maps is what we see here. And so we'll be sure to put that in the comments, and we're going to scroll it across the screen too, so everyone knows. And you can get small, medium, and large. Do you want to go ahead and give the price points for people?
Yep. So the small is $65, the medium is $85, and the large is $112. The large is large, like people.
Yeah, we saw the picture. Like, it's huge.
Yeah. So, but also, if anybody has questions or wants to reach out on a personal, on a business level, by all means. Oh, did I lose you?
I think she might have frozen.
Oh no!
Yikes. We were coming up on the end anyway. Oh man. Technology, boy, you got to roll with the punches. Okay, I think she's back. All right, what were you saying, Jess?
I was saying, if anybody wants to connect on a personal, on a business level, wants to shoot me messages, you can message the shop. I'm the only one that responds to them. So feel free to reach out, or you could share my email too. It's fine.
Oh, yes. And then that's your website scrolling across the bottom of the screen as well. And so people can get their small, medium, or large of the whole states. And so they can put where they traveled, and they can, and I saw a lot of creative things happening. Like, some people use the cork board and use the push pins. Other people put pictures of their family actually, on it with the Cricut, like you said. And then it also seemed like some people did like different teams or flags. I couldn't tell. One of those was was a little different. And then some just use it as a backdrop. And so I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being my guest this evening, Jessica. And nothing but positive energy, the best of luck and wishes for you to go viral again, girl. Listen, let's do it again. Okay, let's get another influx. Hopefully, of thousands of orders for your business and you and your family, because you have such a great heart. And so I love you, my friend, and I'm so grateful that you got to tune in with us. And hopefully, you all will watch the replay later, and you can share it on your Facebook page and things with the YouTube channel. And for the Facebook link as well. And if you all are not following me, if you're new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe bell on YouTube and on Facebook. Click to be notified and like my @Inez K Jones page. And it's @Inez K Jones on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all those social media handles. I got everything, y'all. And as we leave out this evening, you all will get to hear the rest or a little bit more of my song Secret Place. I don't know if you know, Jess, but that's me actually singing, and that's my song that played in the intro, and it'll play a little bit in the ending. And every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, y'all tune in for our Thursday thing as we go live. And have a fantastic evening. Good night, everyone.
I'm so confused, and I need